So in this video, I will summarize three specific graphs that should be used for specific type of variables. So here we're going to deal with vector variable or integer variable. And there's a numeric variable which has dot point something value less than 1. So we're going to cover bar plot, which should be used for vector variable, and then histogram and dot plot, histogram, and box plot and whisker plots later for integer variable. So if you want to present something on vector variable, you will use bar plot, and for integer variable you will use histogram, dot plot, or box and whisker plots. So first of all, to follow this practice in this document that I provided you, you need to install two packages, log5 data package and ggplot2 package. And then you have to extract specific data. In this example, it used a student's data set, but I have looked into this package and I couldn't find exactly the same one. I found very similar one, which is called the student survey. So I will create the examples following the guidelines written here, but using slightly different data set. First of all, okay, so let me show you how I did it. First of all, you have to install package log5 data, and then you need to load those libraries, ggplot2 and log5 data that you're going to use. And data function will show you what kind of data sets are included here. So you can go through and you can use, there are so many interesting data sets. Speed dating is one thing that I used in one of my courses, and there are so many data set that could be helpful for your practice. Anyhow, I found student survey data by just looking for something related to students. So student survey data is something like this. So okay, it's close enough. So let's read. No, this is not. Okay, so let's this object student survey as an object here, so that you can work on it and save it as students. And students object is a data frame, 362 observation with 17 variables. See, some of those values are factors, and factors are different from numbers. It is categorical values, so you cannot do mathematical calculations using factor variables. And numeric variable and integer variables are quantitative variables. They can be used for mathematical calculations. First of all, now you want to do something with a factor variable. For example, here gender is a factor variable, and you want to present the distribution of gender in this data set. Then you can use a table function, and you can see the distribution of it. And you want to create a plot. And now I told you that a factor variable, the best way to present factor variable is a bar plot. And here, so just follow the example here. Categorical variables, it says you can use table function to see the distribution of it, which is very useful tool. And you can use graphs, bar graphs. And one thing that you will later would wonder about bar plot and histogram. They look pretty similar. This is histogram, and the only thing that you can tell is there's no like space between the value because this is quantitative, and this is categorical value. So each category are spaced out from others. So that's bar plot, and this is histogram. So that's the major difference and the huge difference. So using bar plot, you can show the distribution of the value. Let's create it. So look at this. You can see the distribution of a word. So a word was one of the variable that was factor. And the next plot, if you want to visualize two factor variables, you can do it. So the first thing would be the same award categories, and you can impose the gender on that category. And if you see, there are more male on Olympic and Nobel. What is this? Nobel? I don't know. Nobel Prize, maybe? Could be. And academy, this is interesting. Female has more award on this. So this reveals something interesting already. Okay, so that's factor variable. Now you want to do something with numeric or integer variable, the quantitative variable. Then you use now histogram. So let's the height is one of the integer variable here. So let's plot it. And what did I tell you this plot is? It's histogram. And how do you tell it's a histogram? There is no space between each bar because the x value is a quantitative value. And another thing that's very useful and important is box plot. And you should be able to interpret box plot. What is this is in the middle, this is median value, and maximum, minimum, and these dots mean outliers. So please make sure you know how to interpret this result. So the gender, each female and male, and the height, and the median value for height is 65, and then men's median value is 70, about 72. And there's a lot of outlier for women. For like some female are extremely tall, and that shows you the distribution of it. So this is just gist of the plotting, and plottings are so important to communicate your ideas and the data. So please, when you have time, go through this document. I think this document is well organized, and if you want to go through the practice, use these steps so then you can have students data and manipulate it. Okay, hopefully that is helpful for some of you who are not sure about plotting and factor variable versus numeric variables, and how to plot different using different plotting schemes.